Sound off. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC Network.
FM and HD1 Bartlett. WMFS Memphis, celebrating a legacy of sports as the flagship home of the Memphis Grizzlies and Tigers talk. Always live on the Odyssey app and on smart speakers. Say play 92.9 ESPN.
Now on SportsCenter all night.
Championship Sunday. How would Mahomes and his ankle fare at home at Burrowhead?
Chiefs go with three tight ends and a shotgun. They roll it to the right side. Mahomes pump faking. Now fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
The NFC matchup featured San Francisco Sans QB.
Brock Purdy has been taken out of the game.
Oh, no.
Josh Johnson, the veteran, is in to play quarterback.
Are we looking at a crossroads for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers?
But at some point here, in the coming days, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers are going to have to sit down and have an open, frank discussion.
Plus, can Giannis keep his momentum going against the Pelicans?
Right wing three. Yes, sir. He's got it. Why not?
This is SportsCenter all night.
What's the name of the stadium again?
Arrowhead. You can call it Mahomes' house.
Here's Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. The what-ifs from Sunday are numerous, especially in the NFC. More on that on the way. The AFC matchup at Arrowhead or Burrowhead, depending on your rooting interest. Through the first quarter and a half, the scoreboard had only field goals up there, 2 for Kansas City, 1 for the Bengals. Later in the second, Chiefs capping a 75-yard drive.
Chiefs go with three tight ends and a shotgun. They roll it to the right side. Mahomes pump faking. Now fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Kansas City! Travis Kelce from Patrick Mahomes. And the Chiefs lead 12-3. And now Mahomes to Kelce in the postseason for the 13th time. That's second in National Football League history to only Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski.
106.5, the Wolf Chiefs first to find the end zone in this one. Bengals answer with a 90-yard drive, but settle for a field goal to end the half. Kansas City goes to the break with a 13-6 lead. Second half, midway through the third, Burrow and the Bengals had an answer.
Burrow looking at the defense. 2 deep safeties for KC. Shotgun snap to Joe. He throws it down the left sideline. A leaping catch for a touchdown. T. Higgins, full-grown man, leaps at the goal line and reels it in for a potential tying touchdown. A 27-yard thing of beauty on the throw from Joe Burrow.
To the full-grown man. ESPN 1530. Chiefs wind up answering that score with a touchdown drive of their own. 5.5-minute drive capped by a 19-yard touchdown pass. Mahomes to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Kansas City retakes the lead. Chiefs appear to be driving for another score on their next possession, but
the Chiefs up by a touchdown. Mahomes had the ball pop out of his hand, and the Bengals fall on it. Nice. Sam Hubbard pounces on the ball as Patrick Mahomes caught his arm, and the ball just fluttered out, and Sam Hubbard falls on it on the Kansas City 43-yard line.
And Cincinnati takes advantage of that turnover 2.5 minutes later at the other end.
Perine in at running back. Lines up to the right of Joe Burrow. T. Higgins motions from right to left. Joins Chase on that side. Burrow hands it off. Perine fighting, struggling forward. There's the signal. Touchdown! Bengals on a 2-yard run by Samaje Perine.
ESPN 1530. Game is tied at 20 at that point. And from there, the team's really giving the ball back to each other. A couple of punts for the Chiefs, an interception, and a punt for the Bengals. And that takes us to the final minute of regulation because As for that punt by Cincinnati,
41 seconds. They put 2 seconds back on the clock. Man, line drive punt. Very returnable. Taken by Sky Moore at the 20. Wants a right return. Sky Moore at the edge. 35. Sky Moore 40. Up the sideline and near midfield. Sky Moore in front of the Cincy bench. Where will they mark him out? It's a 51-yard punt. 24 yards on the return. There is no penalty flag. And a great block on the outside. It looked like from Darius Harris. The line of scrimmage for the Chiefs will be their own 47-yard line.
great field position for Kansas City because, of course, a field goal would win it. Kansas City facing 3rd and 4 at the 47.
17 seconds left in regulation. 20-20 tie. AFC Championship. 3rd and 4, Kansas City at the Bengal 47-yard line. Chiefs out of timeouts. Bengals 4-man rush. Mahomes trying to buy some time on that bad ankle. Moving to his right. He is now scrambling, and he's going to get a first down. And now gets hit late. He gets hit late. He gets hit late. Mahomes gets hit late.
Joseph Asai with a critical penalty. That gives the Chiefs an extra 15 yards.
Harrison Butker, the biggest kick of his Chiefs' life. Placement is down. Butker's kick is out. The spinning kick high, floating in the air, and it is good! 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 Did Cincinnati call timeout? They did not! They did not! They did not! It's a field goal from 45 yards out by Harrison Butker with 3 seconds to go in regulation.
And that is your game winner. 106.5 The Wolf, 23-20. The final is the Chiefs win it at home. They have 74 wins over the course of the last 5 seasons, including the playoffs. 5th Super Bowl appearance in franchise history. They've split the other 4. 2 wins, 2 losses. Chiefs are going back for number 5. Patrick Mahomes, 10th career playoff win for him. 326 yards passing and a couple of touchdowns. His 4th career playoff game with 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers. And as for winning the AFC,
throughout the game, I think I tried to do whatever I could to win. And obviously there was times where you could see that it wouldn't let me do what I wanted to, but I was able to do enough in that last play to get the first down and get myself out of bounds and try to give Harrison a chance to win. And obviously we got the flag and he pushed me pretty late there. I was just trying to, the defense had gotten stops for us like the last 2 drives, and we had opportunities to get in field goal range and we didn't. So I knew I was going to do whatever I could to get us in the field goal range, and then Harrison made the kick. It's hard for me to comment on it. My goal is to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, the AFC Championship is something that I'll forever remember, winning that Lamar Hunt trophy at Arrowhead Stadium. To me, the job's not finished. All you can think about is that how are you going to get better? This is a great football team that we're going up against. I think you've seen that the last few weeks and this whole entire season. So I know I should take the best that we got, and that's going to take us preparing this next week and the next week after that to go out there and play our best football.
Patrick Mahomes saying the job's not done. He does this job in the AFC Championship game on the bum ankle. A week ago, he suffered a high ankle sprain, but this week, Mahomes and the Chiefs winning at Arrowhead. Not Burrowhead, as he and the team had heard this past week.
Yeah, I think guys were probably the most pumped up I'd seen them going into a football game. A lot of trash talk coming from a lot of different places. I think no one picked us to win. If so, it was like 5% of people. We think we've built up enough respect to have a chance to go out and win every game. So whenever you feel like you're the underdog, when you're playing at Arrowhead Stadium, it gets guys ready to go.
Mahomes admitting the Chiefs had a chip on their shoulders Sunday. ESPN's Jeff Darlington in Kansas City saying it affected the way Kansas City went into this one.
It did. It angered more than just the guys that you would expect. Travis Kelce, who kind of plays the role of who will talk the trash, but also Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes was essentially saying that he felt like they were talking too much. He said he felt like these Chiefs players were as pumped as he's ever seen them taking the field. And he also said, by the way, even the mayor was coming at me. So whether it was fabricated, to your point, in some ways, whether it was sort of manufactured hype, I'll tell you, the Chiefs definitely felt it, and it really seemed like they used it as well.
I think everyone believed that one way or another, these guys were going to be on the field, Mahomes and Kelce, in whatever capacity they were available. And having said that, in the case of Mahomes, clearly he didn't run as much as he normally would until he had to. If you were to put a number, sort of guessing, 1 being it was really, really bad, and 10 being, no, it's fine. What's your sense of where it was?
Pretty bad, Scott. And you know what? Throughout the week, I was talking to people close to Mahomes who said, he's doing his best and he's out there and he's practicing, but we don't know how mobile he's going to be when the game starts. And after the game, that's kind of what Mahomes said. He said, from a stability standpoint, he knew he'd be able to play, but there was a couple moments when he had that fumble. He said it was really, really painful. When he had to throw across his body on that big third down play, very painful. And ultimately on perhaps a play that will help define his continued legacy, the one at the very end of that game, it hurt. It hurt him really, really bad. So yes, I think that the ankle, as much as it looked at the beginning of the game like he was going to be okay, I think it does. I think it was enough pain that it's the type of injury that will add to his growing legacy.
When we look at Mahomes, now you get back to the Super Bowl and you have an opportunity to add another. How not vital, but important for him and this organization to not just get there again, but to win it again.
I think that's right. And he kind of was going the Kobe route, Patrick was, in his press conference. Job's not finished. Job's not done. Yeah, he kept emphasizing that. But I will say that they still absolutely enjoyed this one. Patrick Mahomes said this was the team. This Bengals team was the one they wanted in this game. They weren't as quick to turn the page to the Super Bowl tonight as I might have expected. They know what happened last year in the AFC Championship game. They know what happened in Week 10 when they lost to the Bengals. This is a real rivalry, one that this team absolutely felt. So yes, the Super Bowl is immensely important, but so too was this one.
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs get the win. Joe Burrow suffering his first road playoff loss. He entered 3-0. He had 270 yards passing and a touchdown, but 2 interceptions and 5 sacks. Third career playoff game with 5 sacks taken. Bengals fall by the late field goal, and the Chiefs head to their 5th Super Bowl overall. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio.
I've never, ever seen a quarterback make the strides that Jalen Hurts has made.
You can't count Brock out. He's starting off 7-0. He's been having the offense rolling. The moment is never too big for him.
The NFC featuring a showdown between two quarterbacks who had an epic battle when they met in college. Let's just say history did not repeat itself in the NFC Championship.
Brock Purdy has been taken out of the game.
Oh, no.
Josh Johnson, the veteran, is in to play quarterback as he got hit on the Hassan Reddick fumble. Dr. McAdams talking to him over on the sideline. Kyle Shanahan talking to Purdy. Brian Greasy there. We're going to the 36-year-old veteran, Josh Johnson.
KNBR with the call. That game changer happening midway through the first quarter. Eagles were up 7-0. After a handful of series that ended in punts, the Niners did get on the board.
Handoff, McCaffrey off the right side, jumps over Marcus Epps, still fighting, breaks a tackle, touchdown! CMC!
2-6 of dynamite on that one, baby. That score ties the game at 7. Philly, though, answers on its ensuing drive with a touchdown with 1.5 minutes to go before halftime, and then it got worse for the Niners.
Johnson is throwing. He fumbles the snap, goes down and gets it. That could have been a disaster. I think he got it. Now the Eagles say they have. Let's see. I thought Johnson was on top of it, but then
Marcus Epps is very comfortable that the Eagles have the football.
They do. Oh, Scott to his right. Slot to the far side. Devontae Smith to the near side. Can one of them open up? They go to Scott. Tries to sweep. He's at the 5. He pushes forward. He is in for the touchdown. Boston Scott.
Sports Radio 94 WIP. Eagles with a pair of quick touchdowns at the end of the second quarter. 21-7 lead at the half. Third quarter, things get even worse for San Francisco.
Josh, a 7-step drop, gets hit by Ndamukong Suh. Fluttering ball, incomplete, and almost intercepted by Darius Slay. Big play. Slay got one hand on the ball. Johnson slow to get up. He's your only quarterback. Well, Juszczyk would be the emergency quarterback.
And Ndamukong Suh just grabs the shoulder pad and swims right by.
Is he okay, Josh Johnson?
Right by Burford, and if anything, it might be his shoulder.
Hold on, they're going to check on Josh. As he's a little wobbly going back into the huddle. Don't tell me they have to play Kyle Juszczyk in the NFC Championship game.
No, it's not on KNBR. Niners would actually go back to Brock Purdy, the injured Brock Purdy. It was clear he wasn't able to throw the ball, so it was a running game the rest of the way for the Niners. As for Philly, they get another touchdown. It's a Jalen Hurts run for the touchdown. One of those tush-push plays that we see so often now. Frustrating afternoon for the Niners. Tensions boiled over in the waning moments, but when it was all said and done,
The Philadelphia Eagles have won the NFC Championship 4-3-2-1 by the final score. The Eagles 31, the 49ers 7. Attention, air traffic control. A flock of Eagles is heading to Arizona.
solid 80s reference. Sports Radio 94 WIP, 31-7 the final. Jalen Hurts, 15 of 25. Rushes for a touchdown, 15 rushing touchdowns this season, and he goes to the Super Bowl.
This atmosphere is unparalleled. Listen to that fight song.
This is a great city, man. We put in the work to have this opportunity. We pushed each other. We held each other accountable. We got one more. I think we played complimentary football. I think our defense showed up and showed out, created turnovers. We put points on the board when we needed it most, and going to the Super Bowl.
Say that one more time.
Going to the Super Bowl.
Jalen Hurts with our Sal Paolantonio. Eagles going to the 4th Super Bowl appearance in team history. Guess who said, whoops, this weekend? That's next. Sports Center all night. It's ESPN Radio.
The Super Bowl is set. The Chiefs and the Eagles. We break down the big game like no one else can. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. This is Sports Center All Night.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Secrets, cover-ups,
It's
and
playoff
strange
time.
phenomena.
If we want to keep our season alive, we got to win today.
The NFL playoffs.
I've always played with my emotions, my heart on my sleeve, and I just want to win so badly.
The San Francisco 49ers haven't played this guy yet. Hurts keeps
Fighting for the end zone on a run.
Continuing in-depth coverage.
You have to contain him, but you storm the pocket and you try to put physical hits on the quarterback.
It all begins each morning at 6 Eastern with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, and continues all day on ESPN Radio.
The complete 30 for 30 library is exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Maya Moore stepping away from basketball to fight for justice.
Dream over 100 documentaries featuring the biggest names in sports, with titles including The Tuck Rule, Be Woke, Lance, You Don't Know Bo Ringwood, the award-winning 30 for 30 library, streaming exclusively on ESPN Plus. Sign up now at ESPNplus.com or get the Disney bundle, including Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus to stream the best movie shows and sports.
We went real hard on Josh Allen. Josh Allen has not reached us, so when you go do it, dog, right? Like I didn't hear that surrounding conversation around that dude.
You can listen or follow on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
A 29-year-old Adolph Rupp learns the game straight from Naismith, ships off to Lexington, and builds a big blue dynasty. Decades of dominance that put Kentucky at the heart of hoops country. I wanted to know, but this is a man as complicated as the nation that made him. A man who would soon feel the tide of change on the highest order balls. ESPN Films presents Southern Hoops, a history of SEC basketball. Premieres tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on SEC.
Coming up on Fitz and Harry, Super Bowl 57 is set. We'll react to the wild ending in Kansas City and the Eagles rolling past the Niners in Philly. Fitz and Harry, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch on the ESPN app.
Staples, you can count on every project
True
being
story.
print
It
perfect.
may be a new era in college basketball's greatest rivalry. There's nothing better than Duke
Your
and
bounded
Carolina.
presentations, brochures with the
But when the
finest
Tar
quotes, and
Heels
more
visit
will be done
Cameron,
right
it's
every
still
time.
crazy
That's
as
why
ever.
for good
First time
prices,
to sit
now
back
at
and
Staples,
enjoy
get
this.
$10 off your document printing and marketing materials order of $50 or more, plus 20% back by a store bonus.
Experience
Try
Sonic
Staples and see the
Blockbuster
difference.
Saturday
Bonus
prime time
225.
presented by
Rewards
John
and
Deere.
bonus must be redeemed
North
in store.
Carolina
See
Duke Saturday at
staples.com/short/print
6:30 Eastern on
details.
ESPN.
If a natural disaster
Mondays
comes
are big
knocking,
time.
how
That's why we have
prepared
to
is
bring in
your
the
family?
playmaker. Michael
You can't just
Irvin
close the
joins
door
me
on
and
earthquakes,
Molly every
floods, or
Monday right here.
hurricanes and
First
hope they
take
go
starting
away.
10 a.m. Eastern
That's why
on
it's
ESPN.
important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your
Monday on
family for
Canty and Carlin, the
emergencies.
Eagles and Chiefs in Super Bowl 57. Andy Reid against the Birds, the Kelsey brothers, and who's answering for the officiating? It's Monday, Canty and Carlin, 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Go old school. Heading south to Oxford, east through Arkansas, or are you in Collierville? We're on 680 AM too.
Oh, I just use an old school radio, man.
92.9 FM ESPN, Memphis' sports station.
Sports Center All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center All Night continues, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Townsend, the punter, is the holder. Looks back at Butker. Butker is ready. Now the snap, the placement, the kick is up, and it is good. 3 seconds remaining, and the Kansas City Chiefs have a 3-point lead, 23-20.
And that would be the final score as the Chiefs get the win, helped in large part by a 15-yard penalty at the end, which put the Chiefs in prime field goal position. Cincinnati head coach Zach Taylor.
It's hard. You know, we try to slide the line to them when we can. They do a good job with their packages. They make it really difficult. He's a great player. He's an all-pro player. He's a defensive MVP type of player. He stepped up really big in these moments today, and you got to give credit to him. We got a lot of respect for him, and he made some big plays today.
But Joseph Asai takes a big penalty at the end, and it puts the Chiefs in field goal position. As for Zach Taylor and his thoughts on his quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Awesome. Awesome. I thought that he extended plays when he needed to. Always kept his eyes down the field, looking to make a play, made some big plays with his feet, had a great quarterback draw, and just, he does what he does. He gives us a chance, and as a team, we just came up a little short.
These games are never going to be pretty. You just got to find ways, and, it felt like that was, the tide was turning our way. I felt like we were going to, just find a way to win this game, but like I said, didn't make the plays down the stretch.
Joe Burrow did pass for a touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions and 5 sacks as well. Sports Center All Night, ESPN Radio.
LeBron is furious that he did not get the foul call.
I don't understand. I don't understand what we're doing. I don't see it happening to nobody else. It's just weird.
It's unacceptable. We got cheated tonight.
It was a no call on Saturday, and the Lakers' overtime loss to the Celtics. LeBron James couldn't believe it. After the loss to Boston, the crew chief for the game, Eric Lewis, said the referee should have called Jason Tatum for a shooting foul on LeBron's last-second layup attempt. James would have gone to the line with a chance to win the game with the score tied at 105. Sunday, the National Basketball Referees Association on its official Twitter account said, quote, like everyone else, referees make mistakes. The union saying, quote, we made one at the end of last night's game, and that is gut-wrenching for us. This play will weigh heavily and cause sleepless nights as we strive to be the best referees that we can be. Sports Center All Night, ESPN Radio. As for Sunday's action, Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks on the court.
Giannis, he's going for 50, right wing 3. Yes, sir. He's got it. Why not? Everybody on their feet at Fiserv Forum. 50 points, 13 rebounds.
Big day for Giannis Antetokounmpo. WTMJ with the call. Giannis, 50 points, 13 rebounds on 77% shooting from the floor. Second career game with a 50-point double-double with 75% shooting. 30 points in the paint for the 10th time in his career. He joined Shaq as the only players in the era since the mid-90s with double-digit games of 30 or more points in the paint. Shaq did it 42 times. Giannis has done it 10 times this season. Bucks a 135-110 win over the Pelicans. Fourth team this season with 135 points scored in back-to-back games. Cavs and the Clippers.
Here's Ricky Rubio into the forecourt. Tosses it out front to Jetty Osman. You weren't with us earlier. Jetty with a couple of three balls. Now number 6 on the Cavs list in three balls. Jetty drives and scores with the left hand right there.
Cavaliers with a 122-99 win over the Clippers. They led by as many as 40 in this one. As for the Grizzlies and Pacers.
Morant, top of the arc, into the lane again for Clark. He lobs for Jackson. Jackson flushes it home. The Grizzlies are just dissecting that Pacer defense.
92.9 ESPN Memphis. Grizzlies a 112-100 win over Indy to snap a 5-game losing streak. They are 15-1 in their last 16 home games, including 8 consecutive wins, 27 points for Ja Morant. He also had 15 assists. His first 25-point, 10 rebound, 15 assist triple-double in Grizzlies franchise history. Third straight game with at least 20 points and 10 assists. Hornets a 122-117 win over the Heat, 20 points for Gordon Hayward. Heat lost, snapping a streak of 7 straight wins against the Hornets. We have our Super Bowl matchup. That's next at ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Greeny, and the Super Bowl matchup is all set. It'll be the Chiefs and the Eagles playing for all the marbles, and we'll be the place to talk about it all on Monday morning. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Oh, want better visibility to get you through the winter? A new pair of premium wipers can help. Right now, you can earn a $10 bonus reward when you buy a pair of Rain-X Quantum Wiper Blades. See better and stay safe on the road all winter long. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards members.
Every pro is an MVP to us. As a Lowe's MVP's Rewards member, you can earn bonus points when you shop select products and brands. Then redeem them for exciting rewards like tools, sports memorabilia, e-gift cards, and more. Join today to become a member and start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any, subject to program terms while supplies last. Points expired end of calendar year. Visit Lowes.com/MVP's bonus points for details.
92.9 FM ESPN Memphis. Always free, always online at 929ESPN.com. On the free Odyssey app on your phone. On smart speakers by saying, play 92.9 ESPN. Or go old school. Heading south to Oxford, east through Arkansas, or are you in Collierville? We're on 680 AM too.
Oh, I just use an old school radio, man.
The flagship home of the Memphis Grizzlies and Tigers Talk. 92.9 FM ESPN, Memphis' sports station.
Join us at Odyssey.
As parents, we want only the best education for our kids.
That's why we've chosen a Catholic school.
To teach them how to embrace challenges and overcome obstacles.
To show them how to work in the community.
To reinforce that caring about others matters.
And to take faith beyond the limits of the classroom.
What more could a parent ask for?
Give your child an education that inspires and empowers.
Visit ChooseCatholicSchools.org.
AT&T Fiber presents A Straightforward Moment.
Game on, baby. This looks great.
Yeah, streaming is amazing with AT&T Fiber.
Must be nice being a gigillionaire.
Yup, and the straightforward pricing has made me want to be straightforward with you. I'd much rather stream ice dancing.
Is that Alma Hansen and Bjorn Anders?
Straightforward is better. No equipment fees, no data caps, no price increase at 12 months. Live like a gigillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Looking for affordable, reliable auto insurance? Freeway has you covered. Freeway has great low rates for auto insurance as low as 99 cents a day. Say goodbye to overpriced rates and start saving today. Freeway has hundreds of options to choose from. Let Freeway help you find the coverage that fits your needs. Freeway is available online, by phone, or in person. With rates as low as 99 cents a day, you could save hundreds a year. Tap the link below or go to freewayinsurance.com for a fast, free quote. Freeway, driving savings. Some restrictions and fees may apply. Quoted price for liability premium only.
Valentine's Day is fast approaching. If you haven't already ordered a bouquet that's guaranteed to wow from 1-800-Flowers.com, listen up. Right now, when you lock in your order today, you'll save $20 on 2 dozen romantic red roses. Plus, you'll get a free vase. This offer from 1-800-Flowers is only good while supplies last. So stop what you're doing and get $20 off your bouquet with 1-800-Flowers. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com/listen. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/listen.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. Because when you feel empowered, you're more ready for life's challenges. BetterHelp is a great therapy option. It's flexible, affordable, entirely online, and it matches you with a licensed therapist. Let therapy help empower you. Visit betterhelp.com/goal to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/goal.
The Jeff Calkins Show, weekdays from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. Every morning. 92.9 FM ESPN, Memphis' sports station.
SportsCenter All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits in one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter All Night.
The Packers could be pulling the ripcord this offseason. The Cowboys make a coaching change. The NFL is down to the final 2 as our Super Bowl matchup is now set.
Brock Purdy has been taken out of the game.
Oh,
Josh Johnson, the veteran, is in to play quarterback.
Hurts again under center. He sneaks, he pushes, and he is touchdown, Jalen Hurts. By the final score, the Eagles 31, the 49ers 7. Attention, air traffic control. A flock of Eagles is heading to Arizona.
The NFC showdown in Philly turned out not to be a showdown after all. Twitter was lamenting the fact that a Niners-Eagles matchup would have been great to see, but that's not what we wound up getting as the Eagles cruise into the Super Bowl. Speaking of what we saw on Twitter.
Who tweeted that?
Quote, officially done being a Chiefs fan this season.
Who tweeted that?
That coming from the account of Jason Kelsey, center for the Eagles. His brother Travis, tight end for the Chiefs.
There is the squib. It bounced in front of the receiver. Clock now. They're going to throw it across the formation, and it is caught over there now, slipping, and the Chiefs will tackle him. This game is over. This game is over. You can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike and disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs as the AFC champions. And for the third time in 4 years, the trophy named after this franchise's founder is back in Kansas City where it belongs.
106.5 The Wolf, 23-20. The Chiefs come away with the win on a field goal in the closing seconds. Chiefs go to their 5th Super Bowl appearance in franchise history. Travis Kelce, 7 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. And after the win, he spoke with our Jeff Darlington.
Travis Kelce, congratulations. You're headed back to the Super Bowl. What does it mean to you?
It means everything. A lot of resiliency in this group of men right here. I love them. A lot of perseverance, but we still got another game to go. This is sweet. This feels great to get another AFC championship in Arrowhead. In the 5 years in a row in Arrowhead. To finally come out on top again and go to the Super Bowl game, maybe feels great.
And I know you've been dealing with things too, but I want to talk about the legend of Patrick Mahomes with a high ankle sprain on that final play. What does that say about what Mahomes is to this team and this league?
I'm just embracing myself in this right now, man. Woo! It feels good, man. I love that guy. 1-5 is the ultimate leader.
This is my man right here, dog.
You hear me?
That's your competitor. That's what I'm talking about. Not on you, baby.
Woo! It's Mahomes' house, baby. Arrowhead. I love this place, man. I love that guy. I love all these guys, man. It's a lot of fun playing with these guys, man.
What's the name of the stadium again?
Arrowhead. You can call it Mahomes' house. Arrowhead they can save that or kick rocks, baby. They can save that for some other time, man. They posted a lot of bulletin board material. They don't mean shit unless you come in here and play. And our guys played all 4 quarters, all 3 phases. You saw Sky Moore get that big time return late. It's just an awesome feeling right now, man.
Congratulations. You're headed back to the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
Chiefs get the 23-20 win over the Bengals. Wasn't just the offense getting them to their 5th Super Bowl. Our ESPN analysts, Booker McFarland and Keyshawn Johnson.
Chris Jones showed why he's the guy, why he is right there in the MVP conversation, because anytime you need a big play from your defensive lineman going up against a banged-up Cincinnati Bengal front, you take advantage of that. And he was able to do that with 2 sacks in this game, 3 tackle for losses, boom. And you know how important it is being a guy yourself on the defensive line. You smell blood, you go get it, no question. That is the bottom line in this situation. And Joe Burrow at times played good in this game, but I can tell you, it changed just like that when Chris Jones got a hold of him.
Boy, and not just Chris Jones. What about Frank Clark? Overall, this Chiefs defensive line, 13 pressures, 5 sacks. They made Joe Burrow very uncomfortable throughout the football game. And when you talk about Mahomes, I thought it was very clear early he wasn't going to hold the football. We knew the ankle was going to be an issue.
Yes.
He came out early. I'm going to get the ball out of my hands to make sure I get the ball to my playmakers and get into the game early on. Great job by Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid, getting their quarterback settled down early and getting him into a rhythm.
Quarterback and coach at the end of the week, what do you feel comfortable running this big menu? Well, the kitchen's out of some of the stuff because you can't just sit and plant and throw 50 yards. What on the menu can we serve? And the answer was probably 3/4 of it or 4/5 of it, the way I saw it.
But another thing in that boom is he got some help, though. He got it from Kelsey. He got it from MVS. They held on the footballs. They got open at times when they desperately needed to. It wasn't one of those situations when you looked up and you said, oh, my God, these receivers started falling one by one. All of a sudden, they had guys out there playing was like, who's this guy? Where did they find this guy at? And so when you look at it, these guys that helped him in MVS and Kelsey, they made big plays tonight. MVS went over 100 yards in a touchdown. He had 6 catches for $116. Boom.
Well, here's the thing I would say. Going into the week, all week long, what was the question? Would Mahomes be able to move? Is he going to be able to be Patrick Mahomes? Right. Can he keep plays alive? Can he scramble? Can he do different things? I think that's what we all wanted to see. He moved a lot better than I thought he was going to move. Think about the plays that he kept alive down the sideline. Think about the scramble at the end of the game. His movement throughout the game was probably the most surprising thing for a guy coming off a high ankle sprain. King, it was a magnificent performance from him based on what we thought he was going to be.
And I think when you look at Cincinnati on the defensive side of the ball, he probably ran around a little more than what they thought.
Exactly. Yes.
Patrick Mahomes getting the key rush down the stretch, plus a 15-yard penalty tacked onto it. And it allowed for the game-winning field goal as the Chiefs beat the Bengals 23-20 and advanced to the Super Bowl. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. As for the Super Bowl matchup, it's the Chiefs and the Eagles, the 2-1 seeds. Eagles with the win in Philly over the Niners, who lost their 3rd and 4th string quarterbacks in this one. Brock Purdy leaving with what the team believes is a UCL injury in his right throwing arm. Had to come back into the game, unable to throw, however. So it wound up being frustrating down the stretch.
Ayuk is going at it on the field with Johnson.
Brandon Ayuk has to be pulled apart. So is Deebo Samuel. As this one is getting chippy here. Aaron Banks pulling 49ers away now. Trent Williams. And now an Eagle got thrown down. And we're going to have a melee here at the end of the game. 49ers are coming off the bench. Flags all over the field. This has turned into a Philadelphia Flyers hockey game.
KNBR throwing shade at Philly. Eagles, a 31-7 win over the Niners. Eagles started the year 8-0. They were the last unbeaten team in the NFL. And they wind up in the Super Bowl. Their defense with 3 sacks en route to the win on Sunday. Back to ESPN analyst Keyshawn Johnson and Booker McFarland.
All year long, Phillies had the best combination of offensive and defensive line in football, and it showed up again today. Hassan Reddick, they got 5 guys with double-digit sacks. Hassan Reddick was outstanding today. He made the single play to change the game. And if you're San Francisco, how are you going to block a premier rusher with a tight end? This is like taking candy from a baby. Tight ends cannot block premier rushers. That was the play that knocked Brock Purdy out of the game. And if that wasn't enough, you're going to try it again. You're going to bring Kittle all the way across the formation. I love Kyle Shanahan. He may be the best play caller in football, but he had the tight end blocking Hassan Reddick on numerous occasions, and that got his quarterback killed today. That's a flaw in the game plan, and he's got to look at tweaking that next year, Key.
You talked about both sides of the big uglies. You talked about the defensive side and premier pass rushers, but the offensive line, when you talk about running the football as well as protecting the passer, a guy like Jason Kelce, he leads the charge up front at the center position. That all started up front with Jason Kelce.
Look, San Fran did as well as they could. I mean, I think they held them to 3.6, whatever it was, but it ends up being a slow leak in the tire.
It was a slow leak boom, and it was a great job by Nick Sirianni and the offensive staff. They made a subtle tweak, okay? They changed the formation. They started going strong side with the formation and then running back weak side. Anytime you have Kelce Boom at the center position that can pull and get out front, now you have the numbers advantage. Putting the strength of the formation to the right and starting to run back to the weak side, it was an outstanding adjustment by the Eagles. We're going to run weak, hold the linebackers with our play fake, and Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, they were out of position all from the second quarter on throughout the rest of the game.
And as a result, the Niners had nothing against the Eagles. Philly cruises to the win 31-7. They go on to the victory. Niners have their 12-game win streak, including the postseason snap. 10-game run of winning the turnover battle is snapped as well. Brock Purdy, who sustained the elbow injury on the opening drive, returned to the game later after backup Josh Johnson suffered a concussion in the third quarter. He suffers his first loss as a starting QB. Eagles advance to their fourth Super Bowl appearance in team history. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Speaking of other teams that are now preparing for next season, there's the Green Bay Packers. And an offseason trade of Aaron Rodgers remains an option. ESPN insider Adam Schefter.
I think there are people around the league who believe ultimately that Green Bay is going to trade Aaron Rodgers. He certainly sounds like a quarterback who is prepared for that possibility. But at some point here in the coming days, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers are going to have to sit down and have an open, frank discussion about what each side wants to do moving forward. And there are people who believe the Packers are open to trading him, and there are people who believe that Aaron Rodgers would like to finish his career somewhere else. We haven't heard either side address that specifically. It's just out there, as it was a couple of off seasons ago with Aaron Rodgers. And until we hear otherwise, that will continue to remain a possibility for a variety of reasons, driven by the numbers involved, the salary cap situation, his contract, the state of the franchise, his own feelings. But the idea that Aaron Rodgers could be traded this offseason is a very real possibility.
Adam Schefter reporting league sources believe the franchise prefers to move on from Aaron Rodgers as it once did with Brett Favre. Rodgers, during an interview this past week on the Pat McAfee show, said he's open to all honest and direct conversations with the Packers, and that a trade, quote, wouldn't offend me and it wouldn't make me feel like a victim. The words of Aaron Rodgers with Pat McAfee last week. Earlier on ESPN Radio, our Chad Brown.
You know that the end is near when you are unwilling to put in the work in the offseason. And we saw Aaron Rodgers spend a lot of the offseason away from the Green Bay Packers, but then he got to the Packers and complained about the inexperience of the wide receiver room and how they weren't on the same page. Well, you have an obligation in that, Mr. Quarterback. You have an obligation to get there in the offseason and spend time with those guys to make sure you guys are all on the same page. So if it is going to be Robert Saleh and the New York Jets, there needs to be a in-depth conversation about offseason expectations for Aaron Rodgers, because you can't pull what you pulled this last season where you're not connecting with your young teammates, you're not connecting with your young wide receivers, and you guys are on the same page, yet you haven't put in the time with those guys so you guys can connect. And again, that's a sign for me. If you're unwilling to start your workouts the day after the Super Bowl as a veteran player, if you're unwilling to take away from your off season so you can spend time with your young wide receivers as a veteran quarterback, then maybe it's time for you to hang it up.
Regardless of the decision for Aaron Rodgers, changes are expected in Green Bay. It's just a matter of how extensive. The Packers are currently projected to be more than $16 million over next season's salary cap and have a list of impending free agents that include some of Rodgers' closest teammates as well. So, as ESPN's Adam Schefter noted, the Packers this offseason, the franchise is at a crossroads. Straight ahead, a couple of roads collided in Dallas. Which coach will not be returning? That's next. SportsCenter all night. It's ESPN Radio.
The Super Bowl is set. The Chiefs and the Eagles. We break down the big game like no one else can. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. More SportsCenter all night. Next.
It's time to get your Kia.
Hey, the screening of the Super Bowl matchup is all set. It'll be the Chiefs and the Eagles playing for all the marbles, and we'll be the place to talk about it all on Monday morning. It's screening starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
$54 a month, 36 months lease, $27.99 due at signing.
True story. In your new 2020 era in college basketball's greatest rivalry. There's nothing better than Duke and Carolina. But when the Tar Heels visit Cameron, it's the craziest ever.
But you always get Kia's Kia 100,000 mile an hour trade with a good warranty. And for Bobby J, here's what you had a new Kia.
Experience Sonic Blockbuster Saturday prime time presented by John Deere. North Carolina, Duke. Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Coming up on Fitz and Harry, Super Bowl 57 is set. We'll react to the wild ending in Kansas City and the Eagles rolling past the Niners in Philly. Fitz and Harry, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch on the ESPN app.
The all-new Pro Bowl games live from Las Vegas. Join Peyton and Eli Manning as they coach the league's best to glory in dodgeball, precision passing, and more in the skill showdown. Plus, for the first time ever, the AFC versus the NFC in flag football. The 2023 Pro Bowl games. Skill Showdown Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And don't miss flag football and more skills Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ABC.
Chris Canty and Chris Carlin are Canty and Carlin.
Welcome in, ESPN NFL reporter Kimberly Martin. Kmart, I'm going to give you a line, and you are going to tell me if this was said by Aaron Rodgers or the Dalai Lama. Okay, leadership cannot be forced or contrived. It has to be your personality.
Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
There we go.
All right, Kmart. All right, 1 for 1. Manifest the desires of your heart.
You know what's
This
funny?
is the story
It sounds like
of
Aaron Rodgers, but I'll say
who has
Dalai Lama.
lived on this very block most of
Aaron
the
Rodgers.
years.
Wow,
Often
Kmart,
saying
you were
what was
leading in the
a
right
cow or
direction.
serving
You
brownies
had
to the
it.
neighborhood
You
kids.
had
Everyone
it.
loves
This
it.
game
2
is
years ago, it stood
fantastic.
down, but it
The
began to
problem with Aaron Rodgers, like he's out here sounding like
This
the
is
Dalai
Clark
Lama
became
and
the victim
Confucius
of
every week with Pat McAfee. Like it needs to stop. It needs to stop.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Bruises, isolation,
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
You start talking about Josh Allen MVP, Josh Allen this and that and all this and that, put that in the rearview mirror. Now the conversation is the start of the 2023 football season. Who's going to win the MVP? Is it Joe Burrow? Is it Patrick Mahomes? Justin Herbert? Jalen Hurts? Those will be all the 4 or 5 names that we talk about, but I believe Joe Burrow at the top.
GJ and Max, mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
A legacy of sports in Memphis. It's my go-to station. The flagship home of the Memphis Grizzlies and Tigers Talk. 92.9 FM, ESPN.
SportsCenter all night continues with Jay Reynolds.
We're taking you to Key, Jay, and Max, 6 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN Radio, SportsCenter all night, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Here's Brett Maher for the extra point. Left hash. The kick is blocked. Slant over the middle to Turpin is tackled immediately, and this game is over. And so is the Cowboys season.
105.3 The Fan. Cowboys season coming to an end with their loss to the Niners, and now they're switching up the offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore will no longer be the coordinator for the Cowboys, ending a 4-year run that saw the offense rank inside the top 10 3 times. But in a statement Sunday night, Dallas coach Mike McCarthy says The Cowboys and Moore reached a mutual decision to part ways. Earlier on ESPN Radio, our Mike Wells.
Hey, one of these situations where Mike McCarthy had to do something. He had to do something trying to rattle things up, especially how the offense went. Never mind that Dak Prescott did not have many weapons on the outside to throw the ball to this year, but there's always got to be a scapegoat. Somebody has to be the fall guy when things aren't going right. And in this situation, it was Kellen Moore. Something tells me Kellen Moore will end up on another team as an OC somewhere else, but he essentially – quote unquote, like you said, Q, mutually decided to part ways, AKA you was fired.
And Kellen Moore out in Dallas. Novak Djokovic continues to dominate tennis, wins a record-extending 10th Australian Open championship and a record-tying 22nd Grand Slam title on Sunday.
I honestly feel great in Australia, and my results are testament to that. So I really wanted to be back here. I wanted to play, and knowing my records in Australian Open, I always liked my chances, and I ended up the last season in the best possible way. I played great. Of course, considering last year's event, I was a bit more nervous coming into Australia. Didn't know how, I'm going to be received and by the people. But, overall, it was a very positive experience. Again, I wouldn't be able to do what I did in Adelaide and here if I wasn't feeling good.
When the official rankings are released on Monday, Djokovic returns to the number one ranking in the ATP ranking. SportsCenter all night ESPN Radio. As for the top sounds from Sunday, here's our Jim Basketball.
Number 5.
Jay, we begin on the hard court, and it's ladies first. The battle of top tens had Utah outlasting UCLA with this, the game winner, 700 ESPN.
Neekins inbounds to Izzy Palmer, and Izzy will stay high up top. Game clock down to 16. Izzy still controlling, dribbling between the circles. Down to 10. Izzy down to 7. To Deja Young down to 5. Deja to Alyssa down to 4. Alyssa drives, lays it in, and it's good! 0.8 seconds to go, and Alyssa Peely gives the Utes the lead.
Number 4.
Giannis hit 20 of his 26 shots on Sunday in the Bucks' blowout of the Pels. He became just the 6th player in league history to hit for half 100 twice, shooting 75% or better. 50 came from long range. WTMJ.
Giannis, he's going for 50, right wing 3. Yes, sir. He's got it. Why not? Everybody on their feet at Fiserv Forum. 50 points, 13 rebounds.
Number 3.
Playing with a high ankle sprain, Patrick Mahomes threw for 326 yards and 2 scores, but also had this clutch run, which included a late Joseph Osai hit, which tacked on 15, setting up the game-winning kick. 106.5, the Wolf.
17 seconds left in regulation. 20-20 tie. AFC Championship. 3rd and 4, Kansas City at the Bengal 47-yard line. Chiefs out of timeouts. Bengals 4-man rush. Mahomes trying to buy some time on that bad ankle. Moving to his right. He is now scrambling, and he's going to get a first down. And now gets hit late. He gets hit late. He gets hit late. Mahomes gets hit late.
Number 2.
The Eagles knocked out a pair of 49ers quarterbacks, held San Francisco to just 164 total yards, and snapped the Niners' 12-game winning streak with the conference's best all season, reaching Super Sunday for the 4th time in franchise history. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
The Philadelphia Eagles have won the NFC Championship 4-3-2-1 by the final score. The Eagles 31, the 49ers 7. Attention, air traffic control. A flock of Eagles is heading to Arizona.
Number 1.
What it means is that 2 1 seeds, 2 14-game winners during the regular season are the last 2 standing after Harrison Butker did this with 3 ticks left against the Bengals. 106.5, the Wolf.
Harrison Butker, the biggest kick of his Chiefs' life. Placement is down. Butker's kick is up. The spinning kick high, floating in the air, and it is good! 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 Did Cincinnati call timeout? They did not! They did not! They did not! It's a field goal from 45 yards out by Harrison Butker with 3 seconds to go in regulation.
And that kick puts the Chiefs into the Super Bowl. Andy Reid's team against Andy Reid's former team.
I had a great time there. So 14 years, a long time, huh? And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the city. They're passionate. They love football. I can't wait till Kansas City and Philly clash. It's gonna be awesome, man. I mean, what a great Super Bowl it'll be.
And Philly, of course, going because San Francisco's 2 quarterbacks knocked out of the game. Tight end George Kittle.
How's that feel to lose an NFC Championship game because I don't have a quarterback? Pretty, to be honest. Yeah. Losing your starting quarterback who's a third-string rookie to your fourth-string quarterback who did everything he could, gets hurt, right away in the third quarter, and then you can only run the ball. It's tough. It's frustrating. This is a hell of a football team. Great defense. Offense was moving it. Christian had an amazing run that got a kind of lit a spark in us, and then you can only do so much. Ball doesn't bounce our way. That's football. It's life.
And as for the Niners' future, ESPN analyst Booger McFarland.
If San Francisco didn't have bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all.
Right.
Like they continue to have injury after at the wrong time, at the wrong position. But I'll say this: they had a rookie quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, who took them to the NFC Championship game. The way they fought, how good this defense is. They're probably going to lose the defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans. He's going to get a head coaching job.
Should.
You just wonder how long they can keep this group together and play this style of football because it's tough, it travels, but man, they get injured at the wrong spots at the wrong time.
Niners with decisions this offseason. Jimmy G, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. Our Ryan Clark just on Friday said in his mind, no question, Brock Purdy will be the quarterback next season without competition for the Niners. That'll do it for SportsCenter All Night. I'm Jay Reynolds. It's Monday, January 30th, birthday of our Jalen Rose. He turns the big 5-0 today. Jalen Hurts heading to the Super Bowl, as is Patrick Mahomes, whose ankle hurts. TJ and Max have much more reaction. They're next. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up next, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use ClosetBox instead? ClosetBox is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. ClosetBox's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. ClosetBox's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. ClosetBox has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code RADIO50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
As parents, we want only the best education for our kids.
That's why we've chosen a Catholic school.
To teach them how to embrace challenges and overcome obstacles.
To show them how to work in the community.
To reinforce that caring about others matters.
And to take faith beyond the limits of the classroom.
What more could a parent ask for?
Give your child an education that inspires and empowers.
Visit ChooseCatholicSchools.org.
AT&T Fiber presents a straightforward moment.
Game on, baby. This looks great.
Yeah, streaming is amazing with AT&T Fiber.
Must be nice being a gigillionaire.
Yup, and the straightforward pricing has made me want to be straightforward with you. I'd much rather stream Ice Dancing.
Is that Alma Hansen and Bjorn Anders?
Straightforward is better. No equipment fees, no data caps, no price increase in 12 months. Live like a gigillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Looking for affordable, reliable auto insurance? Freeway has you covered. Freeway has great low rates for auto insurance as low as 99 cents a day. Say goodbye to overpriced rates and start saving today. Freeway has hundreds of options to choose from. Let Freeway help you find the coverage that fits your needs. Freeway is available online, by phone, or in person. With rates as low as 99 cents a day, you could save hundreds a year. Tap the link below or go to freewayinsurance.com for a fast, free quote. Freeway, driving savings. Some restrictions and fees may apply. Quoted price for liability premium only.
Everyone knows it's not Valentine's Day without the roses. For close to 50 years, 1-800-Flowers.com has set the standard for love's official blooms. 1-800-Flowers.com works with premier farms in the U.S. and abroad that follow socially and environmentally responsible practices, making sure only the freshest, most beautiful bouquets make it from the farms and to your door. Surprise someone with a wow-worthy Valentine bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com/listen. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/listen.
There was a tree in the middle of a yard, the prettiest tree that you ever did see. And the ALB goes around all around, and the ALB goes around, and on that tree there were some holes, the ugliest holes that you ever did see. And the holes on the tree, and the trees in the ground, and the ALB goes around all around, and the ALB goes around, and in that hole there was some frass, sawdusty frass that you ever did see. And the frass and the holes on the tree, and the trees in the ground, and the ALB goes around all around, and the ALB goes around. Now there's no more tree in the middle of that yard. It's the deadest tree that you ever did see. Because the beetle killed the tree, and the tree hit the ground, and the ALB still goes all around, and the ALB goes around.
Spot the signs and stop the Asian longhorn beetle. Learn all the signs at AsianLonghornBeetle.com.
WMFS-FM and HD1 Bartlett. WMFS Memphis, celebrating a legacy of sports as the flagship home of the Memphis Grizzlies and Tigers talk. Always live on the Odyssey app and on smart speakers. Say Play 92.9 ESPN.
The Chiefs entertaining the Cincinnati Bengals for the right to go to Super Bowl 57. Mahomes will fire it late for the end zone. Caught! Marquez Valdes-Scantling!
On 4th and 6, he flings it deep downfield. Chase makes the catch. There's the signal. Touchdown!
17 seconds left in regulation. He's going to get a first down, and now gets hit late. It'll be a 15-yard penalty on top of the gain. The biggest kick of his Chiefs' life. Butker's kick is out, and it is good! The Chiefs are going to end the season in Super Bowl 57.
Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Morning, guys.
What's up, baby?
That was the first game. The second game made up for the first game. First game was, the Eagles look good.
Hey, how you doing, Max?
He didn't wait for you to respond.
I'm excited about what just happened. We don't need to stop down for 2-3 minutes now to say good morning. I said good morning.
Morning, Max.
He didn't even say hi, though, Max.
Good morning, Key. Good morning, Jay.
You know, Key was working last night, grinding away.
No,
NFL Live?
No. NFL Prime Time.
Oh, Prime. Oh, sorry. Prime
Me
Time.
and Boomer and
Semantics.
And, no, not semantics. Me, Boomer, and Booger.
Yeah,
too many
semantics.
boos. No, it was good. It was NFL Prime Time. It was good, but watching them games was even better.
The second one, at least.
But it just depends on what you like. If you like the Eagles, then that game obviously was, it was fun to watch.
Unless you're Pat Costello.
Listen, we're going to get
complaining about every call.
We're going to get to the Eagles because you got to start there's a lot to say. The Eagles been really, when they're healthy, the best team in football, wire to wire when they're healthy. But then it really points to Jalen Hurts because without him, it looked way different. And with him, they honestly look like one of the most dominant teams I've ever seen, right? That's saying a lot. We're going to get to all that, guys. But the Chiefs-Bengals last night, you didn't have to even have a rooting interest in that game for it to be compelling. It came down to the wire, the whole thing. So before we even get into everything, Key, what was your takeaway from that game?
From the Eagles?
From Chiefs, Bengals.
It was a good, hard-fought game. Obviously, they took it all the way down to the end of regulation. They were back and forward. Patrick Mahomes gutted out. We could just drum it up to get it to Super Bowl for 2 weeks. His ankle was such a major issue, as we could tell.
Game one is the game more on.
And they were down a couple of receivers. You think about guys getting hurt in the course of the game, and all of a sudden they're empty. Skylar Moore is playing wide receiver, who's a guy who's a return specialist, but all of a sudden he was forced into the lineup. I think the big thing that stood out to the game to me is guys like Chris Jones showed up. And that's why you pay guys like Chris Jones. They harassed Joe Burrow for everything that went on in the game in Buffalo, protection problems that we thought they was going to have in Buffalo. They didn't have. The defense in Buffalo didn't get after him when they needed to. But that wasn't the case here in Kansas City with this defense
when they needed to show up, Jay,